people, welcome back to my channel. My name is Leslie. In my channel, I talk all about personal development, saving hacks, and lifestyle. In today's video, we are going to talk about how much I spent for my college degree. So before I get to it, let me give you some statistics. In the United States alone, there is about $1.7 trillion in student loan debt. And this affects about 45 million Americans. So about 45 million Americans have student loan debt. Are you one of them? Is your brother or sister one of them? Is your mom or dad one of them? Point is, student loans have affected many of us. The class of 2019, which is the college class that I graduated in, about 69% of college graduates took out some sort of student loan. And with about the student loan average being about $30,000. So imagine you freshly out of college, probably a 21 or 22 or 23-year-old, I don't know, already with $30,000 in student loan debt. It quickly adds up. So I am going to talk about how much I spent for my college degree. Guys, before I go over the cost of attendance college breakdown, I wanted to give you guys a little background story about my college experience. So first of all, I attended a public four-year university here in the state of Georgia. I actually qualified for in-state tuition because I went to high school here in Georgia. So that automatically qualified me for in-state tuition. I majored in accounting. I completed my college degree in 4 years. So I started August 2015 and I graduated in July 2019. I also lived in an apartment or dorm all 4 years because my parents' home was too far from my university, so I didn't have the opportunity to commute. Also, throughout all my college years, I had a part-time job or I had a paid internship. So all those things are going to impact the total cost of college from my own experience. So let's get right to it. So guys, I included a screenshot of my cost of attendance down below, so make sure you look at that screenshot. I divided my expenses into about 8 columns, which is for tuition, for fees, for books and supplies, for the dorm or apartment cost, for a meal plan, for transportation, whether it be a train pass or a bus pass or a car insurance or gas or anything of that nature. I also added an eating out and grocery column because obviously, you know, being in college, you know, we all have a, you know, kind of a social life, and part of that social life is like, hey, let's go get some wings, or hey, let's go get a drink at the bar or something. So you need to allocate some money towards like eating out and groceries. So that's why I have that column. And I also have a miscellaneous column. This miscellaneous column, you know, when you're in college, oftentimes people are like, hey, let's go on spring break, or hey, let's go to a concert, or hey, let's go bowling this weekend, or hey, let's do this or whatever. So those are little things that add up. So that's why I have a miscellaneous column. So the eating out groceries column and the miscellaneous column may not necessarily apply to you, but they did apply to me. So I thought it was important to include that into my total cost of college about how much I paid. So that's why I included those 2 columns as well. So as you can see, my year 1, I spent about $20,000. And this was mostly due to my dorm. So my first year of college, like, I was new to this town. I didn't know anybody. I was new to the area, so my parents' house was too far to commute, so I had to get a dorm. So I lived on campus. So thankfully, guys, my parents paid for my dorm my first year, so it wasn't that bad, so I didn't have to take out a student loan for that. But it still was very costly. As you can see, it was almost $8,000 for my dorm. And my dorm did include like electricity, Wi-Fi, water. It did include furniture, but it was a really nice dorm, and I had my own private room, which was really nice. But still, it was very expensive compared to like if my parents' home was like down the street and I could commute, you know? But yeah, so that's why it was so expensive. So that's why I spent about $20,000 and expenses for my first year of college, which honestly, guys, wasn't that bad because my school had estimated that I was going to spend about $25,000, but thankfully I didn't. So I was actually kind of happy with it. I wasn't completely 100%, but yeah, and as you can see, like my first year was actually my most expensive college year. Just because I didn't know a lot of things. I didn't know how to save money. I was the first one in my family to go to college. First one of my cousins really to go to college. So I didn't really know what to expect. But yeah, so definitely living on campus really adds up. And also when I lived on campus, I was forced to get this meal plan that was almost $4,000. We had one of the best dining halls in like all the United States, but it was not cheap. It was not cheap. And trust me, those freshmen 15 are very true. Like by the end of the first semester, I had to gain like 18 pounds. So another thing that was not good about that. So guys, definitely the most expensive part of my first year of college was my dorm and my meal plan. But my total cost for my first year of college was about $20,000, which was a lot of money. But I was actually pretty grateful because I believe my university had estimated me about $25,000 as the average price. And I ended up spending $20,000, which was about $5,000 less, which was great news. Now going on to year two. So in year two, the most expensive thing that I paid for was for tuition. So tuition, guys, tuition is based on how many credit hours you take. And also just a little FYI, tuition usually increases every year. Usually it's for every college, whether it be public or private, it increases every year, unfortunately. And it's usually like 3% to 5% of previous year. So keep that in mind whenever you're budgeting for college. But yeah, so I ended up spending about $4,100 in tuition. And the second thing that was most expensive my year two of college was my dorm, even though it was not as expensive as my first year. So my second year of college, I ended up spending about $3,500 with my dorm. And guys, I got very blessed with this. I had a friend that I met my freshman year of college, and she was like, hey, I'm gonna like live in someone's basement. Would you wanna live with me? She's gonna charge us really little. She's gonna charge us $3,500 for 10 months. And this includes Wi-Fi, electricity, water, includes everything for that price. And I was sold, guys, and I think it was about 15 minutes from my school, so it wasn't far at all. So I went to go check out the place in the basement, and I just wanted to make sure that it was a good basement, that it was a nice basement, that it was in a good area. And so whenever I visited the basement, it was actually in a really good area of town. The basement was beautiful. It had the kitchen had granite countertops, an island, nice bathrooms, nice rooms. And I was like, I'm sold. I am going to save money wherever I can. And so I made the contract, and I lived in someone's random basement that year. But the people were ended up really nice. It was like a family that owned the home. So they lived on the first 2 floors, and then me and my friend lived in the basement, which was the 3rd floor. And honestly, it was really nice. They were really nice, and I had a great experience, and I was able to save a lot of money. So definitely make sure to ask around if you're new to the town or whatever. Hey, you know, you got an open basement or whatever. But yeah, I was able to save so much money that way, and I'm so grateful. So my second year of college, I ended up spending about $14,000, which was way less than my first year of college. And then year 3 gets very interesting. So year 3, once again, the most expensive thing that I paid for was tuition, which was about $4,250. And the very interesting thing about year 3 is that you see that I spent $0 for a meal plan in a dorm. So you may be wondering, $0, where does she live or what does she do? Well, that year I was a resident assistant, which basically means that I worked for the school. So I worked for the school to help freshmen transition into college, and I did activities for them, and I monitored their dorms, make sure like there was no illegal activity going on or things weren't getting out of control in the dorms. So that's what I did. It was a stressful job, but it was really rewarding because I learned a lot of leadership skills. I was able to network, and also I was able to save money with my dorm and my meal plan because they provided that for me in return. That was my pay. So I didn't have a check, but that was like my pay that they would give me, which was my dorm and my meal plan. But yeah, if you would like me to make a video about being a resident, how to become an RA, or what it's like being an RA, let me know and I will do a video on that. But yeah, so that's why I spent $0 on that. So because of that, my grand total for year 3 for my college year was $10,600, which was amazing, guys. It was so little, and I was forever grateful for that. But yeah, so it was a really good price, a really good year 3. So then year 4, which was my senior year of college, the most thing that I spent money on again was tuition, which was $4,475. And this was because I took a fall semester, a spring semester, and a summer semester because I was trying to graduate. So it ended up being a little bit more costly. And as you can see, I didn't have a meal plan because I was just eating out or cooking at home. So I didn't get a meal plan that year. And then also for my dorm, I only spent $1,000 because so my 4th year, my living situation was a little strange. So that fall semester, actually with my boyfriend and his roommates, which was a little weird because they're all guys, but I lived with them and I was able to save a lot of money, and they didn't really charge me, so I would just give them little money here and there. So they didn't really charge me. We're all college students, so we were just trying to make it through. So then it worked out. And then my spring and summer semester of my senior year, which was my 4th year, I lived with my boyfriend, which he's now my fiance, as you all know. But I lived with my boyfriend at the time, and he was working as a full-time engineer. So he just paid for all of our apartment expenses and living expenses. So that's why my 4th year of college ended up spending about $12,000. So 4th year was definitely a very unique experience. It might not work for everybody, so completely understand. But yeah, guys, so let's break down the total cost of my 4 years of college. So the total cost of my 4 years of college was about $57,000. So I know it sounds like a lot of money, which it is a lot of money, but honestly, guys, it's not as bad as like the national cost for a 4-year university. I believe the national cost for a 4-year university is about $100,000. So me spending $57,000 does not sound that bad, but it's still a lot of money. So you may be asking, how did Leslie pay $57,000 for her college degree? Well, I'm about to do the breakdown. So about $14,100 of that money came from the Hope Scholarship. So the Hope Scholarship is basically a scholarship here in the state of Georgia that basically anyone can qualify for it based on their high school GPA and their college GPA. So if you have a certain GPA, which is a 3.0, you're able to get this scholarship, and they pay for about 85% of your tuition. So right off the bat, I was able to save a lot of money. I had the Hope Scholarship all 4 years, and so because of that, they gave me $14,100. So that was extremely helpful. You know, really, really awesome that my state had that. So I'm really grateful for that. And then I had another $14,000 in random scholarships that I would get here and there. I didn't get them for one specific year. I got them for all 4 years, different amounts. So I was able to pay for school that way with that scholarship money. My parents, I was in a situation where my parents were able to contribute to my college education. I know not everybody's parents are able to do so. My parents were able to contribute to my college education, and they contributed about $11,200 to my college education, and that was throughout the 4 years of college. So they would just like either pay for my dorm or pay for my meal plan or stuff like that. Like they would pay for random stuff here and there. So that helped out tremendously, you guys. So if you have a parent or a grandparent or a brother or sister that are helping you pay for college, be grateful to them because it is expensive and it's really nice that they're able to do so. So forever, shout out to everyone. Shout out to anyone if you're helping a college student out. Shout out to you. And then, like most Americans, I had to take out a student loan. So my student loan was about $10,000. So in order for me to pay for school, I had to get out a $10,000 student loan. I didn't take out the student loan all at once. I believe I took it out like in parts. So I think my first year I took out like $5,000. And then the other $5,000 were between year 2, 3, and 4. I forgot the breakdown of how much money I took out each year. But that's basically how much I took out in student loan, which was $10,000, which I wish it would have been 0, but that was just not attainable for me. But I'm happy I was able to keep it below the national average of $30,000. So my student loan debt is about 1/3 of the national average, which is about $30,000. So yeah, guys. So definitely, college ain't cheap. Point of the story, college is not cheap, but it is attainable. You know, there are ways to pay for college. Don't be scared of the price tag. You know, just live below your means, you know, save money, work hard, and make smart decisions. It may not be like the most luxurious decisions, but make smart decisions and you'll be able to pay for college. And it really teaches you to be more grateful for your college degree, and it teaches you to manage your finances better. But yeah, guys. And as always, if you have any questions or comments, make sure to leave them down below, and I will do my very best to answer them. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give this button a thumbs up and subscribe and follow me on Instagram. Till next time. Bye, everyone.